My name is Michael Westfield. I took the course back in January 2017. The reason I took the course is because I heard about the community. The Language House stays with you well after you take the course. Even if you move out of teaching, you still have the resources, the connections, the alumni page on Facebook. It's all about the support that Language House gives. And it's actually in Prague. I plan to stay in Prague. So the things I learned there, I used it here, and it worked out great.
Hi, my name's Chris. I took the Language House course in June of 2018 with my fiance, and we decided on Prague because of how easy it is to get a work visa as an American. The reason I chose to take the TEFL course with the Language House is that I went through one of their sister companies in the United States that basically has different TEFL satellite campuses around the world, and they said, hey, there's this really great course in Prague that you can take in person. Not only will it help you adapt to the city life, to living in a different country, but it also has the community aspect, and it gives you that teaching experience with actual students face to face, which is, I think, very important and extremely worthwhile. We're going to give you 7 tips of adapting to the Prague, Czech life, and how you can become an expat living in Prague just like us. So something to keep in mind before you come here is that although a lot of people in the city center speak English, the majority of the Czech population doesn't speak fluent English. So they understand a lot more than they speak, but keep that in mind that you need to speak slower, you need to enunciate, you need to avoid using colloquials and expressions that you might use back home with your friends.
Slang here is a no-go. They won't understand no-go sometimes, but you guys will.
Google Translate is your friend, and you might think, okay, well, the grammar's not the best, or some of the words they don't necessarily translate the right way that you want to say. Download the offline maps because you will use it all the time. In the grocery store, I use it to say some sort of like buzzwords that I hope someone will understand. I use it every single day.
So here, the public transportation is much better than America in the States. It's cheap, it's reliable, for the most part clean. If you get a Latachka here, which is your pass to ride on the public transportation, it's about $23 to $24 a month. Unlimited use, that's buses, trams, metros. If you buy a single ticket for 30 minutes, it's 24 crown, which is about a little over $1. If you buy it for 90 minutes, it's 32 crown, which is maybe $1, 30, 40, 50. But that's one way, so there and back, that's $2. But if you pay 550 Czech crown, that's for a whole month. So basically, you do the math on that, you can pay for your Latachka, depending on how much you teach. But if you teach 3 lessons a day, 3 different locations, in 1 week, you're paying for your Latachka there. So it definitely makes much more sense to buy a Latachka. But you can also buy it for 1 month, you can buy it, I think, for 5 months or for a full year. And don't get caught without a ticket. Because number one, it's extremely embarrassing. They have controllers who walk around who aren't in uniform, but they'll walk up to you, show you a little badge, mumble something in Czech, and they expect you to produce either a ticket or your Latachka. If you don't, I believe the fine is $40, $50, something like that. But they're pulling you off to the side. It's you don't want to go down that road. So always have a ticket on the public transportation.
Another thing to keep in mind as well is that if you do have those permanent plans for the long haul, if you're under 26, you can get a student card from the Language House, and it costs, I think I just paid $12.80. That's about $60 for an entire year of metro, bus, and train. And I think it's, even without that, it's like $160 for an entire year as an adult.
So the visa process here can be a little complicated. So it's best to have someone help you. Most of the offices that you'll need to get information from, give information to, they probably won't speak English, and they'll probably require you to have some stuff in Czech. So you really need to find someone to help you with the visa process. You have 90 days on your tourist visa, so you don't want to try to plan too many trips outside of the EU or around the EU within that time. But make sure you try to find someone to help you with the visa.
Kind of the main things that you will need to keep in mind, they might change over the next few months, few years, but consistently is they want to know that you have a certain amount of money in your bank account. You're going to need to have some private health insurance. You'll also need a proof of accommodation that is notarized by your landlord that says that you are legally allowed to stay in this flat building, whatever, for a certain amount of time. and then you'll have to go to your visa appointment, which again is a whole nother process, and that's why this visa person helps. I had a visa lady, and she was the most helpful person ever. She said, go here, go here, go here. I went there, showed up, they were expecting me, I showed them paperwork, smiled for the camera, and good to go.
Yeah. The culture here is different. Drinking here, courts are much more liberal. You don't see police here, we're in the main square. They're not everywhere like they would be back in America. They are liberal, but they do have a level to it. Don't be the drunk Americans walking around here, or the drunk Canadians, or the drunk British, or wherever you're from, because the Czechs really frown upon that, especially in the tourist areas. Here at night, at 10 p.m., it's quiet hours, so all the pubs, whatnot, they kind of make sure you're inside, because people will call the police on you if you're outside talking to your friends. Yeah. They'll call the police on you. You don't want that issue or headache. So just think about the cultural differences here compared to back home.
It is open container law here, so you can have you go buy a beer in a market, walk around with it, but make sure that you're not just like, throwing beers, don't litter. Be very, I would say, conscious and respectful and aware of what you're doing. So, I mean, we're in the Old Town Square, and I see about 15 people with beers or drinks, and they're just having a good time, and it doesn't matter. No one's looking at them a second.
Yeah, they're not overdoing it.
Czechs love nature and being outside, experiencing the nature. They love going on hikes. They love just being outside. So on a beautiful day like today, you'll see everybody outside. They're just sitting in park benches, they're talking, they're maybe having a cigarette, drinking a beer, walking around, exploring, and with that comes a lot of outdoor activities that they enjoy as well.
Yeah.
Things that kind of you might want to do if you make a Czech friend while you're here, they might ask you to go mushroom hunting, and you might be like, mushroom hunting, that's kind of strange. Czechs love mushroom hunting, so they go and pick wild mushrooms in the forest, they cut them up, fry them up, eat them. Absolutely delicious, absolutely incredible. I did not like mushrooms before I came here, and then some Czech women brought me some mushrooms in school. I tried them, bomb.
So here it is cheaper than most places back in the States, but you still need to manage your money. The beer is cheap here, but if you're having 3-4 beers every night, that adds up. And there's been a lot of people who come here, beer is only $2. I'll have 4 of them, 4 days a week, and wine, and still go out to eat every night because I don't feel like cooking, because I'm hungover. It adds up. And then 3-4 months from now, they don't have enough money, they're going back to the States. So make sure you're conscious of how much you're spending, how much you're making, simple plus minus. Live your life, travel, it's cheap. I mean, I have a flight to Belgrade for like $50. It's cheap to travel, but you can't use all your money, drink it, and whatnot, partying.
Keep that in mind, because we've met a lot of people, like you said, that say, hey, I'm coming here for 2 years, 3 years, and they have to leave after 6 months because they drive themselves into a hole financially. So be financially smart. And with that, taxes are already included in everything that you buy. So when you see the price at the store, at the market, your rent price, everything, taxes are already included in that. It's called a VAT here in Europe. It's called a value-added tax. So it's already included. You're paying that already.
Yeah. So if you have your cell phone back in the States, you plan on bringing it over here, make sure you go to your service provider and get your phone unlocked. Within the States, it's no big deal. When you come over here, your SIM card might not work if your cell phone isn't unlocked. And trying to call back to the States, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, whatnot, is a headache and a half that you don't want. So do that before you leave, and that'll save you a lot of trouble when you get here to be able to use your phone and have a Czech phone number.
It's very affordable to have a cell phone here. You can get a SIM card. There's a variety of different cell phone providers. I use T-Mobile personally. I get about 10 gigabytes of data a month, and I pay about $22 a month, okay? And that's kind of pricey. So $22 a month in the United States, if I was paying that for my phone bill,
You get 30 minutes of talking, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.